Welcome to Undercover CEO Zone, where Lady Woman, CEO of MeNuts Packaging, will be going undercover in her own company to get to the bottom of its massive environmental impact.
So what is your name and occupation?
I'm Lady Woman, CEO of MeNuts Packaging.
Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah, so MeNuts Packaging was previously founded under the name of MeNuts Meat Packaging around 1837. And, during that time it was hard for women like me to find a role in the workplace. Minorities and immigrants had a really similar problem because of other racial, ethnic, and religious prejudices. But I'm really proud to announce that here at MeNuts Packaging, we have a zero tolerance policy for any form of discrimination. But the environment. Oh, can we take that out?
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Okay, my bad, I'm sorry. So where was I? So basically, this was all during the Industrial Revolution, which greatly increased the job opportunities, but also the restrictions placed on immigrants, minorities, and women. All these jobs were located in urban areas, so these regions became greatly populated with these people. This heightened the inequities between the upper class and middle class, as well as the lower working class, which later inspired reform efforts because the inequities in society caused poor, and some would say unlivable conditions for the lower working class. MeNuts Meat Packaging was one of the largest employers at the time of immigrants, migrants, women, and minorities, and it thrived for like half a century until the demand for our meat products went down because other companies joined the industry. Then my great-great-grandfather, Orville Women, changed the company into a packaging service. It wasn't until recently that we specialized in packing peanuts, because we discovered a cutting-edge method that cheaply produced packing peanut foam. So I inherited the company recently with the recent passing of my father, who always believed in a cheaper method. And now I'm going to be going undercover to see what really goes on among my employees. Was that a good take?
Yeah, great job.
Thanks.
And in the case of the recent earthquakes on the west coast of Chile, since Chile is right on the Peru-Chile Trench, which is a subduction zone, it experiences severe earthquakes. This is due to the plate tectonics, which make up the Earth's crust. When one plate moves under another, this creates volcanoes or even earthquakes. In this case, a very devastating earthquake. And now, to Benicia Fawcett in the field to give us an inside scoop of MeNuts Packaging.
In other news, the major corporation, MeNuts Packaging, has been in the media a lot recently. Now, the big issue regarding the company lies in the disposal of their main product, packing peanuts. They could be facing a lawsuit due to using suspicious compounds found in their product. Packing peanuts are made using foaming agents, some of which are toxic to us and our environment. Investigations will soon be on the scene at MeNuts labs and headquarters to determine what exactly is in these nuts.
We now follow Miss Lady as she ventures into the depths of packing peanut creation. She will be stationed here as an intern for the next 6 hours, learning the intricacies and what it takes to make her beloved peanuts.
We're headed to the laboratory right now. I'm going to give you a rundown on basically what you're going to be doing here for the next few months.
Hey, sounds good.
Yeah. If you just come in right here, have a seat right here, please.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's going on, essentially. This is why we're here, because of packing peanuts. So this company had created a method that is cheaper and more effective for creating the packing peanuts. And this method, because it's cheap, has kept more families employed and families fed for decades. However, these are also destroying the ozone. Let me tell you something, Berkeley. This method we use that's so cheap and effective, it's CFCs. It has power. It kills the ozone big time.
I don't really understand. Aren't they just packing peanuts?
That's where you're wrong. You see, a CFC of chlorofluorocarbon is made of 3 molecules, chlorine, fluorine, and carbon. With these molecules, they go up into the atmosphere and they stay up in the stratosphere, which is where the ozone lays. The ozone layer is vital for our survival on the planet. So the CFC is up in the ozone, except the UV radiation from the sunlight, it comes and it destroys the CFC. So the CFC break apart. It doesn't destroy CFC, my apologies, it destroys bonds. So the CFC will break apart, and then the chlorine is free to float around the stratosphere in the ozone layer. And that chlorine goes in bonds with an oxygen that is part of an ozone. So ozone is 3 oxygens bonded together. Chlorine comes and bonds with one of those oxygens, leaving behind O2. except the oxygen is more attracted to other oxygens. So the bond between chlorine and oxygen break as oxygen goes and bonds with another oxygen, making once again O2. So chlorine is free to find another ozone and break it apart and bond with an oxygen. So you see how this process gets bigger and eventually destroys the ozone. You see what I'm saying? We desperately need the ozone to survive because it blocks out harmful UV radiation.
Okay, why?
Oh right, sorry dear. So the ozone protects us from harmful UV radiation. If this radiation reaches the Earth's surface, then it will affect us. We will see higher rates of skin cancer among humans, but then also among animals, higher genetic disorders and genetic harm to the animals. The packing peanuts that we produce have big impact. They are bad, terrible for environment. They can last, the CFC from our packing peanut lasts in atmosphere for 30 to 100 years. So you see, our process sure is cheap, effective, but also illegal and harmful.
Then why do we keep doing it?
Well, you see, it is a cheap and effective process. So even though it's harmful, it is very cheap and effective, and that is what industry wants. They look for the cheap things. My family got our start here at the Meanuts Corporation. Even though I came over from Europe later than my family that came over back then, they worked under Orville Woman himself back when it was a meat packaging company. By the way, it was meat packaging company. They employ so many minorities, women, immigrants, migrants, children, but that was a thing back then. So yeah, it's helped a lot of people, but it's illegal. You can't go telling people that, by the way.
Wow, you really know a lot about your company's history.
Mm-hmm.
And where'd you say you were from?
Europe.
Oh, that explains it.
The intern? Yeah, she seems okay. I mean, she's a little naive. But I did enjoy telling her how we destroy the ozone.
After Miss Lady's shocking discovery that her company can cost people's lives, undercover once more, she is determined to understand what drives her company and why her toxic production method has survived for so long. She walks into the main building and is greeted by the assistant to the regional manager.
He's waiting for you right this way.
Big feet. Yeah, we can probably get that done. When do you need it by? Alright, we'll have it to you by. Yeah? You get to work safe? Alright. Yeah, I'll be home at 7. I'm cooking dinner, okay? Alright. I love you, Wibbles. No, I love you more. Alright, bye. Good morning, Miss Berkeley. I was told you have some questions.
Yes, about the production process of Meanuts Peanuts.
Are you unsatisfied?
Yes. Are you aware that you're using toxic substances to make your packing peanuts, and that these substances destroy the ozone?
Yes.
And what are you doing about it?
Absolutely nothing. Alright? This may be hard for you to understand, okay, Miss Berkeley? But us men here like to get work done and like to pay people, alright? So what do you think people might do with money that they get from working? Huh?
I don't know, support their families.
Oh, support their families, buy food, right? Do you like having starving children, Miss Berkeley?
I cannot say.
Oh, so you don't want kids to starve, but you also don't want these employees to make money? Wow. That's interesting.
Says the guy who sits in his office all day, saves a couple of bucks by using a deadly toxin. I think that the ozone is well worth a couple unemployed people.
And how should you know? Alright? You don't work with them. You don't see them every single day. This company has been helping the masses for over 200 years. Except, I mean, we didn't really support all those movements in the early 1900s for racial equality and gender equality and workers' rights, but, you know, we also kind of contributed to destroying the Native American culture. We gave many job opportunities, and people had to move westward via railways. Turns out the area was actually kind of crowded once a lot of people moved there, alright? And there were other people already there, like the natives. We kind of just kicked them out instead of sharing and single-handedly destroyed their culture and replaced it with our own. But that's not exactly a big deal, okay? So would you like to ask me again how much I know about my business? So, you feel the sexual tension? After Miss Lady discovered exactly what it was her company was doing and why, she decided to immediately call a conference room meeting to address the issues.
Excuse me? Who are you?
Hello, it's me, Miss Lady.
What?
I know. But it has come to my attention that there are some serious problems in our company. We've had a lot of negative press recently, and for good reason. Do you guys actually know how our product is made?
Well, it happens like this. We use CFCs as a foaming agent because since they're illegal, they are so much cheaper. Keep people employed and have great temporary benefits. However, in the long term, we are killing thousands of people. CFCs are used in the production of our packing peanuts, and when these are released into the atmosphere, they tear apart the ozone. We need the ozone to survive on this planet. By destroying the ozone, we risk thousands of lives, because suddenly more dangerous UV radiation will be able to reach our Earth's surface and reach us. There will be so many more casualties as a result of skin cancer and similar fates. Guys, we may be killing the world, but we can save it.
Wow.
Dad?